as we prepare to take on Oklahoma this week, and then opening questions.
Yeah, appreciate everybody being here. Was good to get some time away and rejuvenate on the bye week. Looking forward to the second half or second 2/3 of our season here. Still got a hungry group in the locker room, and excited to get back at it at Oklahoma on Saturday.
Coach, can you provide an update on Atiq Muhammad and his injury?
Yeah.
I know that he suffered against Florida State.
Yep. Yeah. So it had some stinger issues in his shoulders and neck area, and landed funky on the turf at Florida State. Out of an abundance of caution, sent him off on a board, and anytime you're dealing with a head or neck injury or spinal injury, it's really scary. Certainly for the student athlete, but for everybody watching it. And credit to our medical team, Alan Wallace, our athletic trainer, our staff, the Florida State medical team, the collaboration, communication in that moment was really impressive to watch. I'd seen him on TV, first time as a head coach being in one of those situations, and to watch the collaboration was really, really impressive. Sent him to the hospital, and before the end of the game, he was back in the locker room, made the flight back home with us, and feeling good. Practiced last night, with a red jersey on, moving in a really good direction. Excited about his return.
What were the biggest things that you tried to harp on during the bye week and the practices that you had?
Yeah, just individually getting 1% better, right? We're on a road to improvement, and even when you're not gearing up for an opponent on the weekend, you still have to take steps and moving in a positive direction. And I thought we did that. Got some guys, who've played a lot of reps so far in the 25 season, got them some rest, some well-deserved rest. Created some opportunities for some younger players to get some competitive reps in. And then, Friday night we were able to get away and see some high school football games in the area, get those guys a chance to go home and support their alma maters. And then Saturday we were off and back at it yesterday. But just continued improvement, right? And keeping the focus on us.
Oklahoma had a lot of sacks against Auburn in their last game.
Yes, they did.
What is the effort going to be to try and protect Struder Shields coming into this weekend's game?
Yeah, this is an outstanding football team, especially defensively. No secret, Coach Venables is an outstanding leader, does tremendous things from a defensive coordinator perspective. He's back in that role this fall. I've coached against him before at Clemson when he was at Clemson. He does a really good job of playing the cat and mouse game with signals and, putting his guys in great positions to be successful. That's part of football, and always will be as long as there's no huddle and tempo, from offenses. Defenses are going to have a chance to see a signal, and he does a good job of waiting until you signal, seeing your final formation, and like I said, putting his guys in a really good position to be successful. He's going to have pressures, change the coverage pictures and blitz pass and whatnot. Talented group at the end of the day, right? This is a top 5 program in the country right now, playing outstanding defense. All 3 levels are sound and play really, really hard and together. Our challenge is just going to be matching that, right? Is making sure every snap offensively we're playing 11 as one with elite communication. And the same thing goes for us. We're going to have to do some things to not allow him to win those cat and mouse exchanges.
You played Nolan Good for the first time in his college career. What did you think of his limited snaps against Florida State?
Yeah, freshman. First opportunity, major college football stadium. I thought he handled himself really well, for his first action. The game's a little faster, right, at this level than it was in high school, but I thought he handled himself really well. One thing I know about Nolan is he's going to be prepared. He's going to know what to do and where to put his eyes. I thought watching it back, throughout the course of last week is, he tried to play a little too fast mentally, and I think that put his body in, some awkward positions physically. And Another guy similar to Drew, just keeps getting better with every rep opportunity.
Last question I have for you, Coach. I know Dusty Morrell did not play against Florida State. Do you have an update on his status?
Yeah, getting better. Has been in a boot since the last half of Buffalo. He's in and out of that boot now. We'll see his status for this week on Saturday, but he is progressing.
Rob, do you have anything for Coach?
Coach, I was just wondering, did the night got a good thing for you? Chance to maybe kind of reset and after 4 games, just kind of look at things overall, what you're able to do, and maybe what was your philosophy with the bye week, how you wanted to approach it, and what you wanted to accomplish?
Yeah, I think, anytime you get a break in your schedule like this, one, it's important to dive into yourself, right, and do a very thorough self-scout, right? And I had each side of the ball game plan the opposite side of the ball. We see each other the most and understand, throughout spring ball and training camp and, all these rep opportunities, get a feel for each other as coaches, get a feel for personnel on the opposite side of the ball. While it's not your main focus, you do recognize those things. And, I thought it was good for Coach Patterson and the offensive staff to hear Cherokee and the defensive staff's thoughts and vice versa. So we did that. And like I said, getting some guys rest, creating some rep opportunities for younger players to continue their growth and development. So that was the overall theme of the week is making it about us.